And we're live for episode, I believe this is 17 of the Popko Project Podcast. And today I am joined by one of my favorite bands. This is an honor for me, man. You have no idea how excited I am for this. Lewis, who is the frontman for Gasoline Heart. I've been following this band for, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years now. You guys were out there before that, well before that, but I came across you back then, and I've been a huge fan ever since. So thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I guess for starters, you guys just released 2 albums last year, 2020. First time in like 8 years. What took so long? What took so long?
What took so long? I got married. I had some kids.
That'll do it.
But I did the last album we did before these 2 was a record called Thanks for Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that came out, I don't even know when it came out. I think maybe 2012.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
And we did that album and it was awesome. We toured it and it was going great. And then a good friend of mine recorded it and produced it. This guy, Jeremy Griffith. And I own a moving company in New York. So he kept moving, like he would move and he's like, he wanted to pay me. And I'm like, you don't have to give me any money. He's like, I'll trade you studio time. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like one of my best friends. So he moved quite a few times and I kept like accruing studio time as credit. And I recorded 3 songs that are on Allergic to Wood. The one, 3 Friends, 3 Friends, and 2 other tracks. I don't even know the titles. But we recorded those 3, and then he moved to Florida. And I moved him into a big U-Haul truck. I didn't bring him all the way to Florida. And it was like, well, you're going to have to come to Florida to finish the album. And then I got married. I had kids. And it was just hard to get to Florida because I have Central Florida roots. That's where the band started. But now I'm in Brooklyn. So eventually I went out there like after Thanksgiving and we did 3 more songs. The idea was just to do an EP. And then we had enough for an EP, but it was going well. And we're just like, oh, let's meet up next. Let's find another time we can record. So it didn't turn out that I could do it until next Thanksgiving. So we recorded 4 songs then. And then all of a sudden we had 10. And then it just took a minute to get mixed. And by the time it got mixed, the old band who did You Know Who You Are, the original lineup, I sprained my ankle on the moving truck like 2 years ago, I guess. 2 years ago. And I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was like, guys, do you want to like get together and jam? They're like, yeah, we always kicked it around. So I went to Orlando. 2 of the guys live in Nashville now. 2 of the guys in Orlando. I'm in New York. And we went to Orlando and we wrote like 4 or 5 songs and we were going to write it. We were going to do an EP. We went out to Atlanta and all of a sudden I had 5 more songs. And all of a sudden we had Big Trouble and Allergic to Wood wasn't even out yet. And all of a sudden we recorded another album. So it's pretty funny. So it was just, I'm like, I got 2, I guess. I guess I'm like Guns N' Roses with User Illusion 1 and 2.
There you go. Yeah, I thought maybe it had something to do with COVID. I mean, so you had 8 years between, new music. You released, I think it's Allergic to Wood in February of 2020.
I guess we're coming up on a year on that. Yep.
Yeah, almost. I think it was Valentine's Day is when you released that.
It was Valentine's Day.
So then I figured, all right, February was here. You released that album. You're probably set to tour and do some dates. And then less than a month later, the world shuts down.
The world shut down. Yeah, that was crazy. That's when Allergic to Wood came out. Big Trouble was done.
Right.
So it was funny. I was like, well, we got to put out Allergic to Wood first because Allergic to Wood is really just me and Jeremy. It's nobody else is on that album other than John Ralston, who used to be in Dear Evanescence with me back in the day. And he is an awesome solo artist, but a good friend of mine. He played some guitar and did some background vocals, but yeah, it really had, the only thing that COVID had to do with anything with Big Trouble is I probably wouldn't have put it out so quickly
Right.
after Allergic to Wood, but I was doing nothing in Orlando because we escaped to Orlando when everything shut down. And I just got bored and I put that album out on my kid's birthday, May 16th. So
Oh, cool.
I tried to pick dates that like I could remember. Valentine's Day, my
There you
kid's
go.
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured because a lot of bands they don't want to stay. They don't like to sit on music because they'll overanalyze it and then revisit it. So they just kind of put it out. So I figured maybe having that second album released, during the time was because of COVID. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of was. We've never been the type of band that we don't really fine tune much. It's kind of like very in the moment. So that Big Trouble album, we just, we wrote it in 5 songs in 3 days. And then when we went to the studio, we kept writing. So we were like writing while we were recording, which was fun. And we track live, and it's that's how we do it. But yeah, we're not the type of band that records and then is like remixing 100 times or doing a bunch of overdubs. That's not really our vibe. Maybe if it was our vibe, we'd be more popular.
Well, yeah, I mean, what kind of stage would you say your band is in? Because I mean, obviously, it's not like a local band on a local level. I mean, you have some form of reach. What do you think of yourself?
I have no idea. I have no clue. I was in a band when I was 18. This band, Dear Ephesus, and I was in a van at 18, and then Dear Ephesus was trekking back and forth around America with a band called Squad, and they were more popular. We were on a little record label, and we would get some traction, and then the band broke up. And then when that band broke up, actually I got kicked out of the band, but then they broke up.
What did you do?
And then
can you say?
I can tell you what I did. Well, they wanted to kick the guitar player out. And I was like, if you kick him out, I'm not going to be in the band. The whole thing is it's us five. We should always be us five. And I thought by me saying that, there's no way they're going to kick him out, because if they kick him out, I'm not going to be in there.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we both got kicked out. And then we started a band called Tenderfoot. And it was me and Brett and this guy, Jeff, and Adam. And me, Brett, and Jeff were in a band called Dear Ephesus. Me and Brett got kicked out of Dear Ephesus. And Tenderfoot was like our little side band during Dear Ephesus. And then Tenderfoot was rolling, and then we were going on tour and doing a lot of cool things. And then I got kicked out again.
Is that your thing?
I guess so. And I was always, I was just the bass player in those bands. And I didn't really write. I mean, I wrote some of the songs, like some riffs or whatever. But then so now I'm 24, maybe 25. And I kept getting kicked out of bands. It's funny because when I was 25, I felt like I was so old. I was like, I've been doing music for 6 years. I got to get a real job. And then I started a band. I'm like, I'll start another band. And it was kind of a band based out of spite. I do a lot of things out of spite, kind of like Seinfeld, Do you remember when he returned the jacket out of spite? Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I started the Kick. I'm like, I can't get kicked out of the band if I'm the lead singer, but
right.
I don't know how to sing. So I just was writing songs, and they weren't very good. And the Kick started rolling. And then what I realized was that people can quit your band. Yeah. So people kept quitting. And my buddy John, who was in Squad 5-0, he also played in the Kick. And Squad 5-0 signed to Capitol Records, and they were like, you can't play with the Kick anymore, even though those are all my homies. And John tried to quit and not sign the Capitol contract. I'm like, you gotta sign it. You're crazy. And then Squad 5-0 broke up, and then the Kick broke up, and then we were 30. And at 30, we felt so old. We're like, all right, it's over now. It's officially over. We're 30. And then, but we're musicians, so we kept playing and writing songs. I was producing some people, and then we were writing, and then we got signed. We're like, I guess we're doing this again. So, and then I got divorced, and I'm on my second marriage. So me and my first wife split up, and then that album, me and her, are pretty much, that's kind of Who You Are. The first Gasoline Heart album's kind of a breakup album. I just didn't know it.
Right.
But then two of the guys in the original lineup of You Know Who You Are, they couldn't tour. So I brought the kick back, but we were just called Gasoline Heart, and we were trying to be super punk rock, but we had all these like kind of singer-songwriter kind of jams, and it just wasn't working. And so Gasoline Heart I feel like we never really we made albums, but we've never had like the same unit all the time on tour, like really making it happen. So yeah, that's kind of like my little, what is Gasoline Heart? I don't know. When I started recording Allergic to Wood, it was really, my business was doing well, and I was like, I have to play some music to not lose my mind. You know, I don't want to put a fucking gun to my head. I need something. I need a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So that now I think that's what Gasoline Heart is now. I think it's that original five, because we're all in similar places, and it's like, let's just make music. And the pandemic is the best thing, because like, oh, we don't even have to tour.
So you don't want to tour?
I would tour, but who's taking us out on tour? No one's taking us.
You don't know that.
Yeah, maybe we'll play a couple shows. It would be cool. I mean, I think the last tour I did was, I think the last time we did a tour, what is it, 2020? We did the Ataris like reunion tour, whenever that was like maybe 2017, I think. Gasoline Heart did that, but yeah, I would tour again. But
as long as you can make music, that'll avoid the gun in your mouth, right?
I think, and I'm not trying to be so dark.
I know,
it's just,
I know.
I mean it more of like having something to look forward to, you know? And I was really hoping Allergic to Wood would be shit. Like when I was writing it and recording it, I was like, okay, I want to make a real shit album. Because then I'll be like, see, I ran out of creative juices. Like, and then Allergic to Wood, I think is great.
It is great.
And a lot of people liked it like as the best. I'm like, all right, there's no way I'll be able to make another good album. Let's try it. And then Big Trouble was pretty cool too. And I'm like, I guess I have some gas in the tank. Like I keep trying to empty this thing, but it's just not happening. I still enjoy doing it, and I still enjoy writing songs.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, what would you do though? I mean, most bands release music to, tour and get it out there. I mean, how do you get it out there without being able to do that or wanting to do that?
Somebody tell me. I'm really
Are you just doing it?
I'm in the zone where I just want to make it. That's it.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, just hearing you say that you've liked the band for 7 or 8 years, like I didn't know people like you exist. So
yeah, man.
I'm just making it because I like it, and maybe my wife likes it, or a couple of people like it, then that's fine with me. I just want to create. So it's kind of cool. I just want to make things.
Well, that's a cool space to be in, though. You have a full-time gig and you're doing well there, and this is just kind of for fun, huh?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it is for fun. I mean, it sounds weird to say, oh, it's for fun. Like but it is. Yeah, it's just a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Something I'm good at. It's something that I don't now, like I was telling you about with Allergic to Wood and even Big Trouble, I'm like, was kind of hoping it wouldn't turn out as well as it did. And now I'm like, well, I actually want to keep exercising this muscle and not let it go away.
Yeah, I hope you continue to it, because like I said, I love it. And I waited 8 long years.
Did you actually wait? So what album did you like? Like what brought you to Gasoline Heart?
Oh, it was the early ones, like the late 2000s. And I should know the names of the albums, but I don't.
Okay. In this date, what it used to be or what now?
I'm trying to think of what.
Like, how did you even find it? Yeah.
I think you may have been on a compilation or something like that.
Was it the Bass compilation?
I don't remember.
It's fine. You don't need to answer.
But
we need to know that
you know who you are.
Okay, that was the first album.
Yeah, I mean, Cheers, Here's to Life is one of my favorite songs. I love that song. But yeah, and they all just have this cool vibe to them,
Yeah,
oh boy.
I like it too. Yeah, I love Cheers, Here's to Life. That is a cool riff. That is definitely me ripping off the Wallflowers.
Yeah, Yeah, I can hear that.
You know that song, The Difference? The only difference.
Yeah.
That was me trying to write that song.
Even like Nostalgia Ain't What It Used to Be. That was a great album.
Thank you.
Can't Keep a Good Kid Down. Never Been Worse. That's like kind of
Oh yeah, that song was in the Jersey Shore.
really? Oh yeah, you're right. And I just admitted that I watched that.
You know what? My wife used to watch that show, and I always thought it was such trash. And then we played a show at the Troubadour in LA, and somebody from MTV was there, and they bought a CD, and we didn't even know that song. There was actually a couple of our songs on Jersey Shore that season, and we didn't even know until the night Jersey Shore opened up. Like the season premiere, we got an email, hey, you have a couple of songs in tonight's episode. That's pretty awesome. Funny, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's Never Been Worse, or maybe it's Never Been Better.
They're both kind of the same song.
Yeah, one's kind of haunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were great. I mean, Cheers, Here's the Life. I mean, now that I kind of know the background of that album, kind of. Yeah, there you go.
I don't even know if I remember the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, that to me was like a song that I could just like. It was like just a positive song. It's like, cheers of life, because it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because the song is kind of, I don't want to die. Sometimes I feel like jumping. I don't want to sing. Some reason my mouth stays open. I don't want to slip. Some reason my eyes keep wandering. I don't want to give up. It's kind of like and it was like I was so low when I wrote that song, and I was fighting with myself. It's like I don't want to die, but for some reason I feel like jumping,
right?
And I don't want to sing, but for some reason I keep singing, and the Cheers, Here's to Life tag, because it's good at the end, was almost like a joke. It was like, cheers, here's to life because it's good. And it's like, wow. No, life is shit. But then like after I recorded it and it was all done, it kind of like, it switched a little bit. It was like, oh no, this is kind of a celebration song. It's not a depressing song. So that's cool to hear you say that.
Yeah, this is why I love doing this. This is great. There was one, I don't know the song name, but something about talking to God, and he reminded me of things I forgot.
Oh, that's Never Been Worse. That's I don't remember. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I hope I'm not going too far back in time and bringing up like
bring it all on. I'm all good with that.
Sometimes people, sometimes people like they don't want to revisit that, and it's like, because life, I mean, you're probably in a much different place now than you were, 15 years ago. So
yeah, I have a song off of Allergic to Wood called Nobody Changes, and it's nobody changes all that much.
Yeah.
We always think we have a lot of growth, but we're really moving inches and not miles. So
yeah.
At 44 years, I just turned 44. I'm probably kind of the same dude at 24, other than a couple of little things, but probably deep down, I'm probably the same person,
Yeah. A little more mature, probably, right?
You would think.
Oh man. Yeah. The first, like, I think 6 songs on Allergic to Wood, Commodore, I Just Want to Live a Little Bit Longer, Nobody to Blame But Yourself. And then you mentioned Nobody Changes. I mean, there are 5 songs in a row that were just great songs.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt like that album is really cool. Felt like the songs were really strong. It was funny because the way we recorded them, I would just like do a scratch guitar track, which people listening, it's just like, just like a bogus little guitar track. And then the drummer would play the drums and I'd play bass to it. And then all of a sudden we'd sit in the control room and 4 hours later, we'd have like a full song. We were like pumping those things out. It was just like a little ditty I wrote on my guitar and then it was fleshed out in hours. So that was cool about that whole album, you know.
That's neat how that happens with bands. They just kind of like rip through shit.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really cool.
What was I gonna say? Shit. Some of your influences. What would you say? Because I mean, I want to assume that Pearl Jam is one of them. I know you just did a cover of one of their songs.
I'm listening to Pearl Jam as we speak.
There we go.
They're in the background. Yeah, Pearl Jam is. You know, I grew up in New York, and my parents went on vacation. At the end of 9th grade, we went on vacation to Florida, and then we just never went back. We stayed, and it was the end of 9th grade, so that's pretty tough. So all I had was I bought that first Pearl Jam album, 10, and then my aunt worked at Kinko's, which is such a 90s thing, and her co-worker, his band was opening up for Pearl Jam when they first, you know, Pearl Jam was like playing clubs where they'd have local openers, and I got on the guest list and saw Pearl Jam in. It changed my life, you know, for sure.
Was it 10 that was like, they had like, I think 8 songs that were all like hit singles?
Yeah, so many huge songs.
How do you do that?
I have no clue. I have no clue how that album is so good. I've seen Pearl Jam a bunch, and I saw them in Philly. And when I saw them in Philly, they surprised everybody and played 10 front to back, which was really cool. They played every song on the album, and it was like listening to it, you know, this was a couple years ago, but I'm like, man, it's so funny. I heard this like in 1991 or 1992 in a little club, and now here I am at I guess Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah.
Where are you based out of?
Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. So
you're in Scranton.
Yeah. So
you're are you with the Dope Panic guys? Do you know them?
Yeah, that's how I got hooked up with you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Ted hooked me up with you. That shout out to Ted
Awesome.
for doing this. He found out that I was a big fan of yours, and he's like, let me see if I can reach out to him and he can, you know, do this for you. I mean, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, Ted is awesome. Ted and his brother, we've done a couple of tours with Don't Panic, and they were always really funny. They were always on their laptops. That's what I remember. I was like, Ted, get your laptops.
Get your nose out of your computer, Ted. Yeah, they're funny. Ted's funny too. Yeah. When I launched this podcast, I actually had the pleasure of doing it with Ted and his brother.
Yeah, that's
from
cool.
Pursuit. Yeah.
Yep. And who has the infamous Ataris video that was on TMZ? Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember? It was on TMZ where, how am I totally biffing Ted's brother's name? Who's in Bowling for Soup? I'm
Rob.
Full biff. Rob was playing drums for the Ataris, and me and Ted and Rob were all good friends with the Ataris. And there was a show they played in New York, and I came to the show in New York, and we hung out. And I think I actually went on stage, and the Ataris backed me up on a couple of Gasoline Heart songs because Chris is the best. I met Chris at Warped Tour years ago. I played like a little shitty side stage when they were like the main band. And Chris was up front, watched everything, bought all of our merch, and then went on main stage and I didn't even meet him. He went on main stage and kept talking about our band. And then I played some little club like a year later, and he drove like 4 hours to come to the show. I did a cover song, like a Dead Boys cover song. And Chris, without me even knowing him, jumped on stage, grabbed my guitar, played the song with us. And then we became friends after the show. So we actually played a song together before we were even friends, you know? But anyway, there was this huge thing where the Ataris played a show in New Jersey, and Chris lost his shit on Rob and threw the drum set at him, and somebody recorded it, and it went viral. It was on TMZ. You got to look it up. I don't know if they talk about this anymore, but it is so good.
Rob did not mention that.
Rob's gonna be pissed that I brought it up.
All right, Rob. That's funny. So then you just kind of met Ted through that.
I met Ted booked the Ataris. So
okay, yeah, that's right.
We toured with them. Yeah, it was pretty good. But when we talk about influences, definitely, I mean, Pearl Jam is like the childhood influence. But I'm a big fan of Pedro the Lion, David Bazan, and big fan of Paul Westerberg and the Replacements, and those. I really love Patty Griffin and the Weepies. And Tom Petty is one of my favorites of all time, but
of course,
those are just some of the bands that have influenced me. I heard a great story about the Goo Goo Dolls. So the Goo Goo Dolls are huge, right?
Yeah.
And the Johnny Resnick, I think his name is.
Yep.
He is a huge fan of the Replacements. So do you know the band The Replacements at all?
I'm familiar, but not enough to talk about it.
So he's a huge Paul Westerberg Replacements fan, and the Replacements never, they were always almost about to get famous, and it always fell apart. But the Goo Goo Dolls kind of would rip the Replacements off, and they were getting popular, yada yada. And anyway, there's a show where the Goo Goo Dolls play and the Replacements, like a festival. And Johnny Resnick, huge rock star, sees Paul, and he goes up to Paul and he's like, Paul, I just want to tell you that you're the reason why I play music. And Paul just looks at him and goes, "It's not my problem." And Johnny goes, "What?" And he goes, it's not my fault. It's not my problem that you play music. Don't put that on me." It just walked off. I love that. I thought that was so great. Wow. Talking about influences. So yeah. It's kind of funny. So any of those bands I mentioned, if they watch this, which they will, of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, Louis. I have 1 million viewers of this podcast.
I just did 1 million streams on Spotify.
Oh, I wish I had that power. I wish I could do that for you. I really do.
That's funny.
But you're doing this for me, and I'm thankful for that.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so I told you in the email, I just kind of want to try and build this up, especially now because I'm doing this shirts for the scene. I've been a big advocate for the local music scene here in the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area for a long time. I used to work at an entertainment weekly called The Weekender, which was like the Bible for going out, where to go, who to see, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, with social media, that product kind of died. Probably ended 2015. I mean, it was still active, up until last year, but for all intents and purposes, it was pretty much done. Probably 2015. So I've been active in the local music scene for a long time, since 2004. And so I was I used to host a radio show for 3.5 years, just recently. And that's how I got hooked up with Ted and met Ted, and because I would play his band stuff, and unfortunately, the show got put on hiatus. The station I was on wanted to change formats, so they're like, "Hey, you're on hiatus. We'll bring it back." And I kind of I knew that was not really going to happen. And I was like, I need
format did they go to?
But I consider it top 40.
Got it.
They just want to appeal to women more. So it's all stuff that it's familiar. And then they call it 90s to now. It's so. But so when I got kind of booted from the radio show, I was like, how can I continue to kind of be a part of the local scene? Because it was a 1-hour show on Saturday nights. I wasn't setting the world on fire by any means, but to me, I mean, I didn't get paid to do it. I just did it. To me, it was such a great thing for me, and I felt like I had a purpose, right? Got put on hiatus, and I felt maybe I need these guys more than they need me. And I was like, how can I help these guys? Because they haven't played shows. At that point, it was like eight months.
Mm-hmm.
So I teamed up with a local printing company called Axelrad Screen Printing. And we did a thing. It's called Shirts for the Scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I gathered all these local band logos and we created shirts for them. So like, let's say Gasoline Heart was in the store. If I bought your shirt, the money that, from the purchase of that, the proceeds of that sale would go back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're almost at $6,000 raised since early November or December.
That's great.
Yeah, it's cool. Like there's over 100 bands in the store right now. We're going to wrap things up in March, but
That's cool. See,
yeah.
you don't have that radio show anymore. What do you got to do? Even if you're not making money, you got to just create. You got to talk about music. It's, you know what I mean? It's like you got to find what you really enjoy and you're passionate about and jump in to some degree, and not even really think about the monetary, like financial, the finances about it, because who cares? I mean, money is always nice, but at the same time,
well, that's why I started this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so great.
So I wanted to have a platform where people could still the local bands could still use this as a way to, talk about their music, talk about their new songs or CDs or whatever it might be. So it's been going well so far.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I think. I mean, either way, like I always say, I enjoy it. I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't start this. So,
so now you're obviously instantly regretting starting the podcast because you're having
not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I have to take a photo.
A photo?
Yeah, I got to take a photo on my screen. There you go.
What are we doing?
I'm just taking this photo. There we go. Boom. Oh, I sent it to you, which is great.
Did you? What, on Facebook?
Yep.
That's funny.
I never use that Facebook Messenger. I'm so glad you hit me up so many times because I totally would have forgotten.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, I mean, here's me, this nobody from, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. I'm like, I reached out to you, responded. I'm like, holy shit, he responded to me. I can't believe it. And then some time went by. So I just figured, I'll just, I'm sure he's busy, whatever. So I hope I wasn't like a pain in your ass by any means.
No, not at all. I'm just being funny.
No, but yeah. So yeah, it's all good, man.
It's all great.
It's all great. So you just moved. Did you move like from like somewhere else to Brooklyn or?
No. I moved from the second floor to the fourth floor in the same building.
There you go.
Because I have this awesome balcony and an awesome roof where I am now. But my wife and kids are in Florida, so I'm rolling solo in New York and working and running the moving company, yada yada.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm up to.
What's it like in Brooklyn right now?
It's really snowy. There's snow everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's terrible.
I think it's about to open back up on February 14th, but you can't go inside anywhere. Everything's to go. There's really nothing to do.
Yeah.
And it's so cold. So, but I still like it. New York it's still beautiful. So just like walking around and driving around, you still get energized. But I was talking to a few people. I'm like, I'm getting really used to New York pandemic style. I don't know what I'm going to think once it's all super like open back up again and people everywhere. I may be snotty.
Yeah, I probably actually like New York now. I'm not a big fan of the crowds and all the people.
I really love the crowds. So that's something I enjoyed about it. But now I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to change.
Do you think it bounces back?
It's bounced back every other time, right?
Right.
I mean, if New York doesn't bounce back, then probably then America has changed forever. I think if New York can somehow bounce back, I think we'll be good.
I hope it does. I mean, I want things to get back to normal. It's never going to be normal, right? They always say it's the new normal.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on all of this? I mean,
on the pandemic and the
I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to make a political thing by any means.
Well, obviously it's fake. And the
Yes.
vaccine, the microchip that
Right.
they're trying to put in us.
Yep.
And
We're all 5G enabled now.
5G is obviously the 5G is who stole the election.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're eating babies and drinking blood. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
this is all the earth is flat. Dinosaurs are not real. So
Yeah.
glad we got that all covered.
Done. Next.
Next, problem solved.
Yep. On the next.
I think it's so fucked.
Yeah.
Everything is so fucked. No one knows what's true, what's not. Like, I
That's
mean,
the scariest part. Like you can look at 5 different news sources or whatever, and like they're all different. And it's like, what do you believe?
That is, be it whatever your politics are, that was the thing that pissed me off about Donald Trump the most. It was like, have at least one cause. Like he had 500 causes of everything's fake, nothing's real. And it's like, now no one, like, everyone is empowered with their conspiracy theories and everything. And it's like, yeah, there's probably a lot of truth to some conspiracy theories, but now everything's a conspiracy theory.
Right.
And if you actually are telling somebody the truth, well, no, that's not the truth because you know what I mean? So everything just feels so upside down. Everyone's parents are assholes, like they've gone crazy.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like people are just fighting. When I say my parents aren't assholes, I'm talking about like on Facebook, it's just parents fighting. It's just like Facebook got hijacked by and Twitter got hijacked by old people. I remember MySpace, but it's just no one knows what to believe. Like nobody knows anything. And that's a bummer. Like, I mean, even me, I'm like, I wasn't a Trump guy, but like, now I believe nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard not to, because when it's barraged into you like nonstop.
Yeah.
Fake, not true, conspiracy. It's like, all right, all of a sudden there's a freaking raid on the Capitol, and we can't even agree on that. It's like, no, it was Antifa. No, it was the Proud Boys. It's like, we can't even agree.
No,
there was an attack on the Capitol. It's crazy. I mean, it is crazy. Everything is crazy. It's all fucked. I have no idea. And I'm going to only try and keep close to my little circle. And you know what? No one really, I'll write a couple of songs and maybe do a few podcasts, but I need to not be, I don't know, joining that weird digital debate.
Yeah. And I think people are losing their minds in general. We just had an incident yesterday here locally in the area, and people were outside shoveling snow, and the three of them are dead now. So from what I read, and again, this is what we read, the husband and wife were outside shoveling across the street from their neighbor. I guess they had been tossing the snow into the neighbor's property. The neighbor went, shot these 2 people, killed them, and then went inside his own home and killed himself.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's insane. I mean, it's crazy.
Dude, it's kind of has this area shook just because like that stuff, like it's not a bad area. I mean, there's issues everywhere, but like,
I mean, everyone's mental health is just like that. I'm not trying to be the person. I'm not like a Trump bad, like he's the worst. It's like, it just wasn't good for anybody's mental health. The people that loved him and the people that hated him, there's no like, I just feel like everyone is just so on 10 and being barraged with information that we're not supposed to be having. And it's just a lot. Life is a lot right now for some people, Yeah.
And I always say, I mean, the internet, while it's great and we can do things like this, I continue to say it's a blessing and a curse, especially social media. It's the Wild West, and it's not good, I don't think, for us.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah. But I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this interview on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much. Oh yeah, exactly. Totally, 100%.
But I think this is good. This is good conversation. We're not talking about anything like, crazy. Like, this is what the internet should be for and what should be on it, not hate groups and
Yeah.
Also,
I wish we could. Well, what sucks is like the arts and movies and concerts and plays and theater. It's like that stuff isn't just entertainment. Like that stuff teaches you stuff and makes you feel things. And when you feel a certain thing, then you do a certain thing. You know what I mean?
right.
It's like a positive snowball. And the politics is just so ugly. The pandemic is so ugly. We can't even agree on anything. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bummer. You would really like to have some sort of unity somehow, like after 9/11, like it was like we all felt like we were in it together. And like,
Yeah.
I was hoping for like a similar moment during this pandemic, but it just got divisive.
Well,
And
right. Well, I mean, people kept saying, it's similar to 9/11. We're in this together, yada, yada, yada. But like, I'm like, but we're being told, stay home. Don't go outside. Don't talk to your neighbor.
Can't hug
They're
anybody.
diseased. Yeah.
It's
like
crazy. You're right.
We're being told to be apart,
Yeah. I know.
But
And I have no idea. I mean, my wife has COVID right now.
does she really? Is she okay?
No. I don't think she's gonna die, but she's not okay. She feels terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how she got it. It's not like we do a lot. She brings my kids to speech therapy. That's about it. And see my parents and stuff. But
oh boy.
yeah.
That's what's scary too. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like my sister-in-law lives in California and she got it, but her daughter who lives with her didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it like
I
travels.
had it last year around this time before anyone knew what it was. And I felt like fucking shit. I wanted to die. It was so bad. I'm like, this is it. It's over. It's all over. And then everything got shut down like a month or so later. And then I went and got tested and I didn't have coronavirus, but I had the antibodies. So they're like, yeah, you had it,
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's impossible to not talk about, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of over it. It's been like almost a year now, but like it's consuming our lives every day. And
we need new movies and new music to like let us talk about something else. I feel like The Mandalorian saved. Like, did you watch The Mandalorian?
No, I'm not into the
Star Wars thing. Yeah. Anyway, it was just so. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
No.
Oh, watch Ted Lasso. It's the best show. I'm telling you. Write that down.
I am.
Ted Lasso.
What platform? So good. Netflix?
Apple TV. I'm telling you, it's the best show.
All right.
I watched the whole season in one night.
Well, what do we watch? Well, we watched The Tiger King, obviously.
Oh, that was great. That was like the first wave of pandemic.
Yeah. What else came out during the pandemic that was like good stuff? Cobra Kai.
Oh, Cobra Kai was so great.
Yeah.
If you like Cobra Kai, you're gonna like Ted Lasso. Except there's no violence.
Okay. Okay.
But it's great.
That's okay.
Yeah, Cobra Kai was so good.
I was so mad at myself when it came to Netflix and I knew it was on like YouTube Red before. I was like, I just didn't have any time for that. Like, whatever. Yeah. And when I started watching on Netflix, it was all over. But I grew up with that.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you watched it on Netflix and was able to watch everything because I actually got YouTube TV to watch it.
Oh, okay.
I was watching it from the beginning and had to wait for this season 3. But yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it. But yeah, we just need more of that. We need more stuff. We should need to talk more about the things that bring us together than that divide us.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I love Cobra Kai so much. I was like
on your show. Sorry.
What's that?
So I'm not trying to be political or anything.
No, dude. I mean, this is what I wanted to do, and this is life,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was saying I was so into Cobra Kai that I was like researching karate. I was going to take karate lessons at one point.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't a pandemic, I'd probably be in.
You got to. You could be like who's the guy who I freaking loved? He wasn't in season 3. Who's the guy? The comedian guy who worked at Best Buy or Home Depot. What did they call him? Scorpion? Not Scorpion. I'm Googling. Stingray.
Stingray.
Don't you remember Stingray?
No.
He was the older guy that joined. Stingray is from the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai. He joins. You remember Stingray?
Come on.
Google Stingray Cobra Kai.
God. I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna Stingray. There's Cobra Kai. One of the first things that pops up. Oh yes.
Remember him?
Yes, of course. Yeah, he had like the weird facial hair. Like
yes, he was so great.
Yeah, he was funny. That's right. I forgot about. I was not a huge fan of season 3.
Oh, you didn't? You weren't a huge fan? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of hate for that. But I mean, I thought season 1 and 2 were incredible. I just feel like season 3 just kind of like
fell a little flat.
Go anywhere for me. I don't know.
I like the backstory of John Kreese.
Yeah, that was cool. That was good.
Yeah.
I
liked it. I thought it was great.
I mean, I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. It like didn't live up.
Better.
Yeah, it just didn't live up to the hype of 1 and 2. So
nothing ever lives up to the hype.
Yeah, you're right.
Except I just had a steak at Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
I'm jealous.
And it lived up to Peter Luger. It's pretty.
My wife has us. My wife has us on this Mediterranean diet. I had a Mediterranean style meatloaf tonight.
How was that?
It wasn't terrible, but
I loved hearing it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It tasted like most of the food on the diet tastes the same. So it tasted like everything else tastes on the diet, like olives, feta cheese. What else? Yeah, but
that's funny.
Trying to be healthy, I guess.
Yeah, you got to eat healthy. My wife is a health nut. She's like swinging those barbells, counting calories. She's like super buff, and I'm over here like this fat piece of shit.
Yeah, same. I mean, like I have like all these beers around me from like stuff I didn't clean up. I haven't had them tonight. I actually took the night off, but I mean, terrible.
That's great.
But so tell me the craziest band story you have, and I'll let you go.
Craziest band story I ever had.
Yeah, like silly shit.
Let me think.
That you can share.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Craziest band story. Well, I thought about this band story the other day. We went to we were playing Arkansas, and I think we had a day off, or we just got into town early, and we all went to the movies, and we went and saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the reboot. Mm-hmm. And we saw the movie. We watched the movie, the whole band, and there was one guy in the theater other than us, and he looked off. Dude looked weird, right? He was staring at us the whole time. We get out of the movie. My whole crew is inside. I step outside to have a cigarette, and this guy, the guy who was in the theater, walks out and he goes, "Hey man, what'd you think of that movie?" I was like, I'm not going to do my Southern accent. I'm like, I thought it was pretty good. You know, it was great. He's like, I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. I go, oh, why not? He goes, too much violence, too much blood. And I go, well, it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he goes, hey man, you like my rims? And he points to this car that's parked in a handicap spot. And it's a piece of shit, but it's got really nice rims on it.
Of course.
And I was like, yeah, they're cool, man. He's like, yeah, got them off of a dead N-word. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, you shouldn't be smoking. It'll kill you. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I got to quit or whatever, but I got to get rolling. He's like, yeah, I got to go too. He goes into his car, right? Lights up a cigarette. He's smoking with the windows up, and he's just staring at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to fucking kill us. I ran in. I was like, guys, you're not going to believe it, but we got to go through the exit. And he was like a big hillbilly looking guy. You know, he looked like Hillbilly Jim. Wow. I'm like, he's using He's using racial slurs, which is horrible. But the thing that really freaked me out the most was him smoking inside with the windows up.
That's a psycho move.
That's a psycho move. So I don't know if that's a crazy story, but that's one I have for you.
That's a psycho move. That's like people who eat soup outside in the summertime.
Yeah, I hate a hot soup in the summertime. I got another crazy story. We were playing the Whiskey a Go-Go in LA, and it was my birthday. And some bigger bands have always kind of liked our band for some reason, and I didn't even really know.
It's a good band.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we're playing this show, and the guys from, and this is back in the day when this band was super popular, but the guys from Papa Roach were there. And they're like, that show was awesome, blah, blah, blah. We loved it. Let's go out. And we didn't have a hotel room or nothing. We were sleeping in our van. So they brought us to the Viper room where Johnny Depp died. You know, he had the heroin and overdose outside of Viper room. So it's a pretty famous club. We're sitting VIP with Papa Roach, Gene Simmons from Kiss, and it's like us, and we're hanging out, and then they find out it's my birthday, so they're ordering lots of drinks. They get us hotels at the if you ever watched Almost Famous, the old Riot House, the Hyatt on the Sunset Strip. They get us hotel rooms there, and they just like treated us like we were like VIP. So that was a pretty cool, it was really funny. I'm like, the night before we slept in our van, tonight we were planning on sleeping in our van. Yeah. And now we're at the Viper room, drinking for free, eating for free, and got a free hotel room. It was pretty cool, hanging out with all these like modern rock gods, you know. I think the Evanescence was there, and who else? Like, it was all like back in the day, like the rock radio lord. You know? But that was a funny story. There's probably more. Next time we do this podcast, I'll tell you some more. Or maybe there'll be some new ones.
I was gonna say, there's probably be 2 new records next year, right?
Hope I'm actually going to record Thursday. So
are you really?
I'm gonna record. Yeah, I am.
You're just gonna put it out.
I just got. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna just do a song. Yeah. Just do one song. I'm heading out to Atlanta tomorrow, and to see some friends. And the studio we recorded Big Trouble at is in Atlanta. And I hit the guy up. I'm like, you got anybody in the studio Thursday? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm coming in. He's like, the whole band? I'm like, no, I'll put together a band. So I'm texting people right now. You want to play on this song?
That's funny. How do you feel about traveling? Is it scary? I haven't been on, I haven't been out of this state really.
I've kind of traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I've only been going back and forth from Florida to New York, but I just get tested, wear my mask.
Sure.
But
as far as traveling, do you feel safe when you're traveling? Is it?
No, I don't feel safe when I'm not traveling, though. I don't feel safe in general, so nothing much is changing.
All right.
But yeah, it's that. I mean, I'm really just seeing family usually. So, but I'm not doing like the, big get-togethers or anything. I'm keeping it low key. I have 5-year-old twins, so me and my wife and those twins were kind of our own little gang. So, my kid has somebody to play with. My other kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That works out.
So
we have a 3-year-old kid, and I'm hoping we can have a second, only because he's constantly like, play with me. I need you need a brother or sister so you can play with them.
Yep, you better do it quick too.
Yeah,
and they'll play, but they'll fight. Something funny happened the other day too. My kids kind of have a speech delay, so they're going to like speech therapy. But now they're talking a lot. But it turns out they've been listening a lot, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
and my kids are Sonny and Rocco. They're both great. And Sonny goes, "Hey, Dad." I go, "What's up, Sonny?" He goes, "You know where my fucking toys are?" And I go, "What'd you say?" He goes, "I can't find my fucking toys." And he's not even using fucking angry, which was, it's like you can't even really correct him. He just like fucking is like cool, like my cool toys, like, because he probably hears me say all the time, "I can't find my fucking phone," or "I can't find my fucking guitar." You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
And I'm
That's
like,
funny.
I cannot be the parent who has the cursing child. I
Right.
can't do it. You know?
My kid just a few days ago, we were eating dinner and he didn't want to sit. Like he's like at this point where he wants to go off, he take a bite and go off, do something. And he said, "Daddy, you need to put your jacket away." And I said, you sit down and eat." And he said, "First of all, you don't talk to me like that."
He said that to you?
Yeah. Followed by, "You need to put your jackets away. I'm not going to ask you again."
That's like one of the best dad stories I have heard. That is really, really good.
It's on my face. My wife got a video of it. It's on my Facebook page if you want to watch it unfold.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. That's like straight from a Judd Apatow movie.
I couldn't believe it. There's me, and I'm like doing my best not to laugh, but oh my God.
That's good. You know what's great though? He was right. You should have put your jacket away.
I know. I know. I had the jacket on the back of the chair and he wasn't having it.
My kids say a lot. A deal is a deal. A deal is a deal.
Yeah.
So they're able to like play their video game after they do their schoolwork and do cleanup or whatever. They did all that stuff, but we went like to the park and we were at the park till like 9 o'clock at night or something. We were just out late and we came home and it's like, guys, you got to go to bed. They go, no, a deal is a deal. Like we get to play our video game. A deal is a deal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
They're hilarious. It's a good age.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It gets worse.
I hear that.
No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's all great and it's all terrible at the same time.
I remember the first like 6 months, no, first 3 months. I was like, what did we do? Why did we do this? This is terrible. But,
yeah. My buddy Dave Bazan from that band, Page of the Lion, he told me something funny. He's like, Lou, the first year, you don't even really have to be around. The first year is pretty much all mom. It's like, he's like, after year one is when you start getting a little bit more involved. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. But the first year I'm just looking at her and I'm like, I don't know what to
do. So what I did with my wife,
so it's pretty funny.
I did for two reasons. I my wife and I have a really great relationship and we're like, we do like things together. We're in it together. And, but the second reason I was so involved was because I also didn't want to hear her say after the first year, like, well, I did all of this and you did nothing. So I made sure I was very, very involved to the point where like she had a C-section. So our bed was a little higher. So we actually stayed on the couch in the living room for the first 4 weeks. And I stayed on the couch with her. So.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
See, the difference between me and you is like, I'm fine with hearing that she did it all for the first year. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Unfazed. Yeah. I did it all the first 2 years. That's fine. It's fine with me.
Yeah. You're smarter than I am.
No, just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but I'm just joking around. Trying to. Yeah. But definitely, I'm so glad I was able to jump on here and make it happen. I feel like if there was a tweet, it would be Lou figured out how to do Zoom.
There you go.
Because I'm terrible at everything. There we go.
Well, this was the easiest. This is why I still use it because it's easier. There's different platforms, but I think it's more complex. And I'm not that smart.
This was great.
So thank you very much for doing this.
I can tell because you have me on the show. You can't be that smart.
Maybe I'm the smartest person ever.
There you go. Gasoline Heart, best band ever.
Exactly. Well, when you get 1 million streams, let me know.
Okay, I'm down.
Send me a percentage of your 0.000 cents that you'll get from that.
I'll give it to you. I do love Spotify though. I feel like it's the best.
It is.
I make no money from it, but who cares? It's so great to have all that music.
It is.
But I do like having all this vinyl too. The vinyl is nice.
Yeah.
The vinyl is nice because you just put it on and then you can't be jumping track to track. You get to listen to the whole album. That's what I enjoy.
You're right. And I miss that. It's like Netflix. I mean, I spend more time looking for something to watch than I do watching it.
Yep, totally.
Same thing with music. It's the same thing. But all right, man, I'll let you go. I kept you
All
for
right,
long
man.
enough.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
And whatever I can do to help, I'm down. How bad does my hat look? It's definitely. How's this?
You're all right.
Is that the hipster style? It's
Yeah,
gotta be
you gotta wear it
white.
on the back of your head. Yep.
Like this.
I'll
All right,
share.
I got-
I'll share it with you when this is all done.
Okay, sounds good, man. Thank you. Peace.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Be safe.
You too, man. See ya.
Love you all.